robust health care reform bill, where was he going to get the votes to pass a strong immigration reform package? Tell me. But I don't want to dwell solely on this issue. I also want to turn for a moment to my brother Cornel West and Tavis Smiley. These two brothers, African Americans, leading lights of the, I guess, progressive or left-wing or ideological sector of the African American political spectrum. They seem to think that somehow President Obama should have done more things aggressively. And again, I say to them, where's the clout that you think he has had to steamroll anybody? Lay out the agenda and the strategy and how to practically implement those objectives that you have. How is President Obama going to drastically bring down the black unemployment when he hasn't been able to successfully pass the American Jobs Act? He hasn't been able to bring down the national unemployment rate. I mean, I think it's wonderful to dream. Martin Luther King was a dreamer. But when Martin Luther King had a dream, he also went into the streets. He went into the communities and he organized the people to bring leverage on the system. And so I would say to brothers Tavis Smiley and Cornel West that if they wanted to lend a hand to the president's agenda, rather than tear down the man, which they have a right to criticize and even to tear down. I'm not attacking them for that merely. I'm talking about the logic of their position. And what would be a practical way for them to help change things for the better? I would suggest that they take a cue from Martin Luther King or even Reverend Al Sharpton, who I understand they don't really listen much to. Now, he has been an extraordinary community activist. Take some cues from Reverend Al as well as Martin Luther King, and go out and organize in the streets to help bring some leverage on the system. Perhaps they should go and join the Occupy Wall Street movement to help bring some leverage on the system that could play out in such a way that President Obama would have his political clout in Washington and in the Congress enhanced. Finally, I would like to say that a lot of people have commented on the election of President Barack Obama as a breakthrough presidency, as a transformative presidency. And what I can only say is this: it is a transformative presidency. It has been a transformative presidency. And I think that if we look around the entire political landscape of America, with the increasing political clout with the educational ascendancy of women, minorities, including Hispanics, there is clearly a tidal wave of change, progressive in nature, that has come upon America. And clearly the past is receding. But just before that tidal change takes hold fully and grips history in a way that will turn the page of history forever, there are others who feel threatened, and to some important degree these are represented by the people, the ordinary people who support the Tea Party movement. I'm not talking about the plutocrats. They feel threatened because they want to control the world. And too sad for them. We are not going to let them do it. Make no mistake about that. But the Tea Party supporters, these confused, largely confused, lost souls, they are threatened. They do feel threatened. They need not necessarily be threatened, but I feel them. And I think President Obama feels them and comprehends their plight and their circumstances. But we are in a period of American history akin to the period of the Civil War. A tidal change is happening. And these people's fears and insecurities can be magnified, and their fears and insecurities can be greatly exaggerated if we who are progressives aren't careful. There are nutcases out there, and there are people who feel threatened by the future. And it's important for those on the progressive side of history, and by progressive I'm not talking about ideological advocates, I'm talking about humanly progressive, spiritually progressives, environmental progressives. I'm not talking about the ideological crowd. I'm saying that it's important that we are sensitive to everyone's plight. And I think President Obama understands that, and I think that his reading of the facts and the circumstances should be taken into account, that the same intelligence and the same perception, the same unique and charismatic and brilliant, in fact even genius, political intelligence that permitted him to ascend to the presidency, I would suggest to all who are listening that this same Barack Obama, who was elected